For myself, it took quite a while to be able to actually accept that I had to take care of my mental health in order to continue to take care of my physical health. And that included, reaching out for support, counseling, therapy, mental performance consultants, even just the mental health support outside of the sport. At the same time, when we think of mental health, it doesn't just impact us as high performance athletes. If there's something going on in our personal lives, that's going to translate into impacting how we perform as an athlete and vice versa. I think it really just, the understanding that everyone's mental health is also their own journey, just like physical health.
Yeah.
You could be beside someone who is your same classification, same height, same weight, even born in the same place, and your body conditions differently, and so does your mental health.
Yeah, and the time needed to, because everyone is so different at the end of the day, and everyone has their own needs. And even for physical health, doing parasport, you might be in the same classification, but you may have a different condition, and everyone's different. So really identifying what you need to take care of yourself and finding that balance. And I would love to hear from either of you if you have any strategies or any things you do when you have a bad day of training or a tough little training block, what you do to balance your mental health so you're still in a good set of mind for the next day and the next week ahead.
We have a mental preparation and we have a mental health care.
Yeah.
So you see, in high-level sports, we have a specialist to help us to perform. Because when you go to see him, you don't speak with him your problems. You don't have time. If you want to speak with a psychologist to have a to speak about your personal problem, interior problem, or interpersonal problem, you go to see a psychotherapist.
So I really use that self-reflective technique in both in personal and in sport, where is this, what I'm feeling, is it helpful, is it harmful? And then going into two kind of questions of, can I control it? And is it important?
Thank you for sharing both. It feels like it's a very reflective look at yourself and inward, and that's something that I know for myself took a long time, where often I almost kind of skirted around the problems, skirted around the issues, and sold myself that big lie a lot of athletes do of, if I go to World Championships, if I go to a Paralympics, I'm going to be happy. Everything in my life is going to work out that way. And then once you go there, it's an incredible experience being there and representing your country. But once that dies down and you go into the post-games lull, it is a shot of reality to the face, where you're back in the same situation, back with the same struggles, and you hadn't had that time to identify and strategize what works best for you. And one thing I found is when you have coaches, when you're in that high performance side, and when you do talk about your mental health, especially for myself as a bubble athlete on a lot of teams, you feel like that could hinder you in the process of being selected to future teams, and you almost kind of hide that and keep that inward. But one of the biggest things, at least I learned, is, and I hope you feel the same way about this, is making sure in sport, but also outside of sport, you're surrounding yourself with the right people who can really support you and really uplift, but you're also there to support them too. And having that balance is so key and crucial, where you have the right people around you in your life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would completely agree. And I guess I wanted to pose a question, because you brought it up with the post-game lulls. And I don't think many people who haven't attended a major games or a Paralympics really kind of get the roller coaster that athletes go on. Like that's the best way I can describe it, is that it's a roller coaster. There's so much excitement. It's such a long 4 years you build up, and then you get to a games, which is that high point in, you're beyond excited to get there. There's those stressful moments. You don't know what emotion you're going to feel in the next 5 seconds. And then you get home and everything is a dead stop.
You feel it passed, and then you switch to the next competition. It's like want another, you know,
You're almost
similar,
chasing that feeling again.
chasing
Yeah.
that feeling. It's a little bit. I think it's like a gambling a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would like to recognize that I think that all the athletes were a little bit gamble, you know, with the sport, because we like it, we do it, and you lose, and then you come back to, because you want to win, your brain needs so dopamine and this, so you want to win. It's a little bit of I call that, but it's a positive gambling, you know, for the athletes.
As you were saying, I do feel they're quite connected, where I see mental health as every day. Your mental health is an everyday thing you go through, how you're feeling, how your emotions are, and what mental performance comes in. It's helping your mental health reach that next level, how you're really strategizing in moments of stress, in moments of tension, like competing in like every day of training, especially for a lot of us here. There's training periods where it's just a struggle to perform, and it's like, what am I doing? Have I hit the yips or something? And you're just going through the struggles again and again and again, and that does tie it over into your mental health. But having mental performance consultants, having access to people there who you can really strategize and look at how that's impacting your mental health, but strategizing and creating ways that you can solidify your mental health so when you go through moments of struggle, but also go through moments of success too, because often athletes, we have our good periods too, where we win some games, we get on the podium, where we get close to getting to a podium, and then we're riding a high and it cannot be beat for a long time, and then that shot of reality is going to come sooner or later at some point, and really coming up with a strategy that's going to keep us even keel and not going to the highs and not going to the lows, but having that balance at the end of the day. So they're very much interconnected, where that mental health is daily, but that mental performance can only help you in the moments of stress, in the moments of success, and really solidifying both and armoring both to be your strongest self.
Yeah, I think that I totally agree with both of you and everything you've said. I do think that there are times, and it's the reality of it as athletes, that we put our mental health to the side in order to worry about our mental performance. And, you know, there's always, you know, we strive for that next big thing, and you finish fourth just off the podium at an event, and you're like, okay, I'm pushing no matter what it takes to make that podium the next one. And at times that means that we are putting our mental health to the side instead of doing an hour of self-care or something that's going to help our mental health and help us just decompress and step away from what we take on as a career. We're like, okay, well, no, we're gonna, you know, I'm talking myself up that I'm gonna go do an extra gym session, or I'm gonna go and hit the court for an extra hour or something like that. And we do put it to the side. And then it comes to a point where we really have to balance those two things. So you can't work on your mental performance without working on your mental health, and you can't work on your mental health without working on your mental performance. And then it's really finding that balance to where you, again, we look back at the reflection and you look back and say, okay, I've had this moment today where I've completely pushed my mental health to the side, and now I need to rebalance that scale. So that might mean not going back to my hotel room after a competition and watching game footage right away. It might mean I'm gonna go for a walk, or I'm going to just lay and stare at the ceiling or scroll TikTok. All of the things that you do where you're completely disconnecting. So it really is balancing those two things.
First time when I meet my high-level performance consultant. I remember first discussion was about the, you know, the feeling the now, here, right now and here, speaking about to connect with the present, with the now and here, and not to be on your past or in your head. It's a trick that you can use it when you are. You need to focus on something that will happen now, or it's happening now, and it's helping you to be more focused on the present. So The tip was like feel the temperature on your skin, what you are hearing. It's just to focus on the sense, on your how to say, the five sense. You know, your nose, your hair, your body, your weight. My chair is under me. All the sensation that I have, it's helping me to connect with the present, and then to be more focused on what's happening now, and not what I did and I can change. You know, I'm starting to regret, I didn't, because in bocce, like, you have 4 ends, so you need to disconnect, forget about the last ball that you throw. It's a new ball that you will throw, so you need to be focused on the next step. So you see, one trick was what I learned with my performance consultant. It's to connect to your sense. It's something interesting that I observed, that we have already all these techniques. So, and with the professional, they help us to use it. Sometimes you have the answer, but you don't realize it. You don't know that you can use this or this habits, or you know, this or this routine in the sport, and it will help you. So it was the same thing for me when my mental
performance
consultant actually made me realize that I can use something that I already using in my life in the sports. For example, being very organized, because of I have a wife, I have kids, so then I realized that I can organize a lot of stuff in my head. So why you don't use it in sport? Yeah, you can do that, you can do this, just use it. And then I realized, whoa, wait a minute, yes, you're right, I can use all these already patterns that I'm using every day. So yeah, it's helping you just think a little bit about how you do and how you behave, and use it in the sport, and that's it. Try it. You know, like, actually you must adapt all these your tricks that you learn. Yeah.